Big Brother is approaching its milestone season 25 this summer, and there are some aspects of the popular reality competition series that should be brought back. Due to being on the air for over 20 years, the show has evolved with the ever-changing times. As a consequence, some beloved elements of the series were eliminated, which could be reinstated to add excitement. The first season of the hit competition show aired in 2000. Due to the aforementioned changes, it could be argued that Big Brother Season 1 is a different show than what airs today. Although there have been many adjustments made over the years, the overall format and show concept has remained the same. Big Brother food competitions. Longtime fans may remember the food competitions featured in early Big Brother installments. Back in the day, in order to determine which houseguests would be have-nots for the week, the entire cast would compete in a food competition. The house would typically divide into teams to participate. The losing team would then be forced to eat Big Brother slop for the week. On other occasions, the entire house would compete together to determine which food categories they'd be allowed to consume that week. These additional competitions added some spice. It was much more watchable than the have-nots being chosen randomly. Big Brother, the key wheel. In addition to all the other responsibilities the head of household has, they used to have to carry down a large key wheel for each nomination ceremony. Every houseguest had a key with their name on it. Whichever two houseguests whose keys were not in the wheel were the nominees for the week. This added suspense to the nomination ceremony, as each safe houseguest pulled the next person's key out of the wheel. Now, the host simply brings down a box with the only two nomination keys in it. Although there's typically still suspense, it's much different than it was with the key wheel. The last season with the key wheel was season 15. Big Brother. Major season twists. In the show's early days, there would be some intense Big Brother season twists. While the concept of these twists always varied, they all played a major role in the outcome of the game. Some installments had casting twists, such as having houseguests competing against real-life enemies in Season 8. One example was Danielle Donato and her estranged father, Dick Donato. Other twists were more game-changing, such as a player getting a secret power, or being named America's Player. America's Player always had a huge impact on the game, as that player's game moves were controlled by viewers at home. They knew everything that was going on inside the house. Big Brother. The hide-go-veto comp. Over the years, some most iconic Big Brother competitions have been created. While most of them continue to be played, others have faded from the show. One beloved veto competition that the show has since done away with was the hide-and-go veto competition. In this contest, each competitor had to hide their veto inside the house. Then, they each got a chance to run inside and try to find someone else's veto. In doing so, the entire house would be turned upside down. While there's no doubt that the aftermath of the competition was a nightmare to clean up, it was fun for viewers to watch. Big Brother. More intense physical competitions. The intensity of the physical competitions has definitely decreased over the years. In years past, the houseguests would partake in grueling physical competitions that would sometimes last for lengthy periods of time. The current physical competitions tend to be on the mediocre side. Aside from some iconic competitions, such as the Wall Comp and OTEV, the show now lacks intense physical competitions. In the early seasons, competitions could last for hours on end. Now, most of the physical competitions are quite short, and do not actually involve intense physical activity. Instead, a majority of the competitions are now mainly mental contests, with very minimal physical movement. Big Brother, past players hosting competitions prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. Many past fan-favorite house guests would return to the house to host a competition in the backyard. In fact, some Big Brother couples even got engaged on the show, while returning to host a competition together. It was also fun to watch the excitement on the house guests' faces when they heard the doorbell. They were then surprised by someone that was once in their shoes, competing inside the house. After the pandemic, the show became stricter in terms of rules. In doing so, producers have opted out of having past players physically return to the house. However, some familiar faces have hosted a few competitions virtually. This is something that could potentially return in the future. Big Brother competition punishments costumes. One of the best parts about Big Brother is its hilarious punishments and costumes. Over the years, house guests have been forced to wear the most ridiculous costumes due to losing competitions. These outfits have become an iconic part of the show. Additionally, past house guests have faced some crazy punishments because they've lost contests, such as 24-hour confinement, or being handcuffed to another house guest for 24 hours. Although they have not completely done away with the costumes and punishments, they are not nearly as outrageous, or frequent, as they were in seasons past. In fact, this past season's showmance couple Joseph Abden and Taylor Hale were handcuffed together. Big Brother players who have dreamed of being on the show. The main aspect of the earlier Big Brother seasons that should really be brought back to the show is casting players who have always dreamed of competing inside the famous house. As social media, and technology as a whole, have evolved over the years, the production team has increasingly resorted to recruiting players for the show. Big Brother players being recruited for the show, rather than applying, truly impacts the game. When players have a love for the game, and are fans of the show, they understand every aspect of it. Also, they give it their all each day that they're lucky enough to be inside the Big Brother house.
나